The Super Media Bros podcast is a founding member of the OddPods Media Network. This episode of the Super Media Bros podcast is brought to you in part by Audible. Now I know what you're thinking. Super Media Bros and Audible? Yeah, that's a thing. Because like listening to our podcast, you can now listen to audiobooks on the go. We know that you have a busy life and that sometimes that gets in the way of sitting down with a book. But now you can take audiobooks with you on the road, if you're exercising, or if you just want to sit back and relax and have somebody read to you. As you know, we talk about bad movies on this podcast from time to time, and it just so happens that one of our favorite bad movies of all time actually has a book. It's called The Disaster Artist, and it was written by Greg Sestero and Tom Bissell. In fact, the audiobook version is narrated by Greg himself. Trust me, this is a really good one. But that's not the only book on Audible. There are literally thousands of titles that you can choose from. And we're offering up a free 30-day trial if you go to audibletrial.com/supermediabros. But audiobooks aren't all you'll find there. There are also podcasts, wellness programs, theatrical performances, A-list comedies, and exclusive Audible originals that you won't find anywhere else. Get your free 30-day trial today by going to audibletrial.com/supermediabros. That's audibletrial.com/supermediabros. Make your life just a little bit easier today with Audible.
Super Media Bros.
You know what? It actually wasn't that bad. Movie is fun. Darkman is fun. I got a little excited for Spawn the series from HBO.
Yeah, I know you hung up before I had a chance to say anything else.
Look, you have to understand where I'm coming from, though. Moon Knight is out. I thought that would be a fun pairing.
Yeah, but it's not even finished yet.
I realized that on my way here. I was like, are we going to cover like 4/5? Like, what the fuck?
Welcome to episode 222 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
And this is Cult Cinema Showdown 96. Spawn versus Darkman. Not Spawn, the HBO TV series, versus Moon Knight from Marvel.
Although that would be a lot of fun to do.
It would be fun. Spawn is a great series on HBO.
It's fucking excellent. I actually watched it a few years ago on YouTube. Like some large penis hero kind of uploaded the full thing. And I binged it.
And now it's available on HBO Max in high def.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a little bit of charm to watching a poorly rendered bootleg on your phone while laying on your stomach for 13 hours because you just got an ass tattoo and you don't want to sit down.
True. I just remember watching it when it was airing on HBO, if that tells you how old I am.
I was about to say, damn, you're old as fuck.
Yeah, but that was the shit. It was so good.
Dude, it's so good.
And then, as a kid, I was excited as fuck because, yes, we're getting into Spawn, everybody. So I was excited as fuck because we were getting a Spawn movie. Now, you got to remember, in 1997, this is coming off of the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were, quote, blessed with Mortal Kombat Annihilation just yet. But just know, the year is still 1997, and we all know how shitty the effects were in Annihilation.
Yeah.
At the time, there were a couple of the visual effects supervisors working on Spawn that had worked on Jurassic Park. So you're sitting there going, okay, I have high expectations. Even at the time, they were still considered high-end pieces of work. But even then, we knew it was bad. Like, there were some shots that we were like, what the fuck? Like, I remember when the trailer dropped, is that shot of Spawn walking away from that wreckage on fire with the cape and shit. And everybody's flipping out like, oh my God, yes. But man, every time they tried to talk to Satan in that motherfucker, it looked like a Doom 64 loading screen.
It really does. Is that one of those scenarios where y'all were just happy to have something feasible?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, it was just it was a big 50-50. There were people that loved it, people that hated it. There's really no in between.
But really, what did they expect at the time, though?
Yeah. Now, I will admit the practical effects were great.
Oh, dude, the makeup was fantastic.
Like, they nailed the look of all these fuckers, and most of the story was pretty well done. Now, getting into the actual plot and casting, Michael Jai White, who, on record, does not like this movie.
You can tell, too. My man's was phoning it in the beginning.
Yeah, which it's sad because he's really good.
Oh, yeah, he was.
At fucking playing Al Simmons. And then you got John Leguizamo, who ate the whole fucking scenery up every time he was there.
Dude, he was, even though he had to apologize for this, I'm still like, don't. You gave it your best shot.
Wait, did he really apologize for this shit?
I think he did. I want to say I read an article a long time ago that he did.
Wait, it wasn't for his portrayal, or was it because the movie was so bad?
It was because of the movie. It wasn't him.
Yeah, because I do remember that, where he was talking about if they would just have let it been closer to the comics, or as far as the tone, like the darkness and shit.
Yeah.
He said it might have done better.
And that's the thing is, number one, you got to realize, what is your audience? I understand that it was the 90s and everything, and comic book movies weren't what they are today. But I'm still like, okay, but read the room. What is your audience? If you're going to do fucking Spawn, that's like doing Ghost Rider or Hellboy or something like that. It's like, that's a very niche audience. At least get those people satisfied.
Let me allow your mind to be blown for a second. This actually predates Blade.
Wow.
Because Blade is often considered like the godfather of what we have now as far as comic book movies go. Like, Blade itself was so good that it didn't even need a universe connected to it. It was its own fucking universe.
Right.
With Wesley Snipes at the lead, which to this day, I'm excited as fuck for the reboot, by the way.
Yeah, same. Absolutely.
But dude, Wesley Snipes just owns that role. And I think there's a lot of people out there that feel that way about Michael Jai White because, dude, as much as he doesn't like this, I thought he did great.
Yeah. To me, once he put on the makeup is whenever he started to kick it into gear. As just Al Simmons in the beginning, I don't know, something was off, to me anyway. Maybe he was just too stoic. I don't know.
A little bit. And I mean, you had fucking Martin Sheen playing Jason Wynn, who, I mean, it's Martin Sheen. You get what you get with Martin Sheen. He's a fucking legendary actor, and he played a bad guy and was good at playing a bad guy. And then you had fucking D.B. Sweeney playing Terry, which they made him white because he was black in the comics.
I wasn't sure if we were going to go there.
Well, no, I'm saying this because this is literally what the fucking production team had said. They did not, and this is so fucked up. Like, I'm literally like just putting this out there that this is fucked up. The studio did not want this movie to give off the impression that African Americans were its target film audience.
See, and I did read that too. And as I was watching it, I was like, okay, on one hand, I'm a huge proponent, let's just say, for the Batman.
Sure.
When Jim Gordon was cast.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care if you casted a black man to play Jim Gordon, who is usually either gray-haired white man or even in some iterations, a ginger white man. I don't care. Play the character properly. It's Jim Gordon. Nothing about his character says, I am white.
And yeah, and I said this in our Batman review. That dude was my favorite Jim Gordon that I have ever seen. He was so good.
So with that said, you would think that it would be the same thing whenever you flip the script. Not necessarily whenever you have the agenda of saying, okay, but now we have to get some white people in here.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, I'm not going to dive too far into it, but I'm sitting here going, you got John Leguizamo, who is very fucking Latin American. You got Teresa Randall playing Wanda, who is Al's girlfriend, wife, whatever. And here's the funny thing. I recognized fucking, of all people, Michael Papajohn, who is Zach's father. And Miko Hughes is the one that played Zach, the little homeless kid and the homeless father in Hell. Michael Papajohn was the dude that killed Spider-Man's Uncle Ben.
God damn it.
And Miko Hughes is the child that gets haunted by Freddy Krueger in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So I was already like, oh God, these two fucking assholes. Whatever. So they go with the whole North Korea plot where Al is set up to just get fucked over, and like that's how he dies. Like they don't even waste time with this movie, which we're covering the PG-13 cut, by the way, because that's all that we had. I know a director's cut is existing out there somewhere, and I know it's released, but this is what it is. I think most people remember the PG-13 cut anyway.
Yeah.
And they blow him the fuck up. They literally just blow him up in this damn laboratory, and then you immediately get the hellscape shit where he just goes to that fiery portal. And it's so bad looking. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to shit on it, but I'm gonna shit on it a little bit. It's not good.
I watched this on a 100% legal stream on the interwebs at a whopping 360p.
Oof.
So there was a little bit of a charm to it. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of felt like I was watching an old rundown VHS tape that you got at a garage sale.
Dude, I'm sorry, but when he's getting transported to hell, it just looks like a rough night after Taco Bell. It's just real bad. Like, that's really what I would imagine, like a colon looking like, just on fire the whole time.
Mine is worse.
I believe it. They could kind of go through it quickly. Like, am I wrong? Did they just kind of, not that it's rushed, but it felt like really quickly paced as far as picking up the plot.
I noticed that, like, even with him dying, much less getting his powers and all of that stuff, because I felt like, so this is like this super talented and expert marksman person, and he kind of went out in a very
they just kind of fucked this man over, like, no bullshit.
Yeah, he kind of went out like a chump, dude. I don't know, it was very underwhelming.
Yeah.
I guess it was the answer to the killing of RoboCop before he became RoboCop.
There's a lot of shit about this movie that I saw that was kind of like, I did think about RoboCop seeing that sequence. I was like, oh man, except it's just way less people doing it. And then to kind of look at the character design in general of Spawn, a lot of people out there, I remember being younger and somebody, I don't remember who the hell it was one of my old friends from school. They were just like, oh, he looks like Venom. And I'm like, well, Todd McFarlane fucking made that character and he drew that character. But McFarlane is also a big Batman fan too. So Spawn is almost like a symbiote Batman from hell. It's so strange, like when you think about what Spawn is.
Mm-hmm. Right down to him like crashing into the ball. You know,
yeah,
that looked like a fucking Batman
with
shot.
The giant red fucking CG cape.
It's trying to be nice.
No, I'm not. But I was laughing whenever they make him figure out that 5 years have passed or whatever, and that his best friend Terry is married to his fucking girlfriend or his ex-wife or whatever the fuck. Because I can just picture him. You know how he's being like kind of a creep. And, you know, wandering into the backyard for Cyan's birthday and the Violators there being the birthday clown. And he's in broad daylight looking like some just trash ass motherfucker. He's just this bum ass burnt fucking dude just creeping around a bunch of kids. And they're like, ew, get away. Like all the adults find him and they're just like shooing him like the fucking garbage that he looks like he is. And you know that motherfucker is sitting there like at night in the bushes, like looking in their fucking bedroom while Terry's hitting and then, you know, Wanda's sitting there like, put it in reverse, Terry.
Fucking John Wayne Gacy up in them bushes.
Oh, God damn it. Ugh. The scene when he goes to the graveyard, when he sees his grave and shit.
Yeah.
What's with the fucking Guy Fieri looking motherfucker that's out there? You know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking. There's a few things in this movie that I was like, oh, okay. One of which being the Guy Fieri. One of which is the clipping and the green CGI whenever he's looking at the fucking medallion. I know you saw that.
Yeah, and there's a few shots where the CG clips and distorts and stuff.
Yeah, there was that. Whenever they were in like the main villain's little office, you see like fucking framed photographs of nukes going off and all kinds of just like not even demon shit, but just like, this is questionable. This is really on the nose that this is the villain of the film.
Right.
What else was there? Oh, you know what? the fucking clown air freshener, I thought that was funny, but I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're running through some of the bad shit because there is like some good shit that I do want to talk about it, like with the CG and everything, believe it or not. But one of the bad parts was when he's in hell and he's talking to Satan and he's just like, "You gonna lead my army?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I'll lead your army. I don't give a shit." Like, he's not saying it like that, but I could just, like, Spawn reminds me if Tourette's guy went to hell.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like, "I'll lead your motherfucking army. Just give me Wanda back." Like, all right, fuck you, whatever, dude. And then he's like, "You'll lead my army," and it's just a bunch of Spawn clones. Like, it's just him a bunch of times everywhere, all around, all these rocks. And one of the bad CG parts was when he's like electrocuting them all with that green bullshit, and you see the black outline tracing of all the green, and it's just fuzzy looking. It's so bad. But like going to the ballroom scene, like you were talking about, which is some of the action with the guns, and you kind of see the full face, come over, and the suit looks slimy, and it looks, dark and gross, and which is supposed to look that way.
Yeah.
When he fucking shoots old girl through the banister, and she just takes out that entire shrimp table. Fucking clown comes out. It's like, look, he's got a whole goddamn tray of shrimp, looking like a maitre d', and just cracking one-liners, man. If it wouldn't have been for Leguizamo, this movie wouldn't be like half as enjoyable as it is.
No, that's a fact. Like, that's not even an opinion.
There's the subplot where Wynn is going to get that damn heart monitor put in him, where if he dies or his heart flatlines, that the biological Heat 16 weapon's going to detonate and just destroy the whole world, which, I mean, it's a fucking super virus storyline. Come on. Fucking 90s and their goddamn super virus storylines and shit.
We'll probably get a little bit of a reboot of those storylines here before too long.
Yeah.
Now that COVID is starting to kind of dissipate, I'm sure people will feel more comfortable in telling stories of these times.
Yeah, just wait till winter comes again. And then, yeah, winter is coming is going to be the theme because it's just going to bounce back.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. And one more thing before we get into the good about this movie. I just am dumbfounded that after that party happens, when Cyan, Terry, and Wanda are trying to leave, Cyan is like, "What about Spaz, the dog?" And they're all like, "Well, I'm sure she'll find her way." Like, Terry half-ass looks for the dog, which the dog recognizes Al, even though he's burnt to hell and back.
Literally.
The dog recognizes him. And Al's like, "You need to go." And the dog keeps fucking barking. "You don't want to go where I'm going." And the dog just growls and barks, and he's like, "Have it your way, but it's your funeral." I love that Wanda and Terry are just like, fuck that dog. Like, I don't like it, literally like it, but I love how they're just, fuck that dog, whatever.
We'll just get a new one.
That would be some shit that they would do. We're rich, we can get a new dog.
Fucking assholes.
I know, they really said fuck them kids. So the good about this movie, literally some of the action, even with the CGI being kind of crappy here and there, the Violators transformation was probably arguably some of the best looking CG in the movie when he turns into the Violator for the first time and fights Spawn.
Yeah.
Which they got the hellscape portion of it fucking fantastically, right?
Oh yeah, like aesthetically, it was pretty much Spawn. Like you couldn't really argue.
Like the dark, rainy rooftops, the alleyways, yeah. And I mean, even the Violators design, which they use some practical effects, and it looks like they combine the CG and practical on some of it. That was some of the best looking stuff, like the close-ups of the giant head when he's like kind of face-to-face with Spawn. It looked great.
I'll put it to you this way. Okay, let's look at it from an aesthetic standpoint. If this was all drawn as a comic book, it'd be like, oh no, this is Spawn, just a different iteration of the character. But because it's a live-action movie, we can make fun of the CGI.
Absolutely.
But it's really just dated.
Yeah, that's really all it is. I mean, there are some shots in there. Look, just be honest. When he's in hell, like literal fiery hell on the rock, talking to Satan himself, it's bad. I mean, the Satan animation where he's not even really like moving his whole jaw is like opening and closing slowly, and he's just like slowly headbanging to whatever heavy metal music is back there that we cannot hear. And I want to say it's Frank Welker that's voicing him.
I think.
Which that is wild because, dude, he's voiced a whole bunch of shit. That motherfucker's got damn near 1,000 film, television, and video credits.
Shit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's attached to this fucker. Oh, shit. But, I mean, it's a fun watch. Like, if you go back and you're looking for that nostalgia trip, it's not a bad watch, but just understand that what you're getting into is severely dated by fucking almost 30 years.
Yeah. Now, the soundtrack is phenomenal.
Yeah, it has that Freddy versus Jason kind of thing where, again, you know what you're getting into with the movie, but the soundtrack is standalone. Great.
Yeah.
This had, if you listen to alternative metal in the 90s, or hell, even stuff like Crystal Method, it was on this fucking soundtrack. I mean, you had the Crystal Method with Filter, Sneaker Pimps, Orbital and Kirk Hammett, Korn and the Dust Brothers, the Butthole Surfers and Moby, Metallica with DJ Spooky, Stabbing Westward, The Prodigy with Tom Morello, Silverchair, Henry Rollins, Incubus, Slayer, Atari Teenage Riot. I mean, fuck. Great fucking soundtrack. However, I don't know if the soundtrack was enough to save the movie itself, because I do know that I saw this in theaters, and I even remember my parents being like, what the fuck was that? I remember them being like, what the fuck was that? But I was a big fan, and, you know, it was just like, okay, well, we'll take it. Cool, thanks. I think I was 11 whenever this came out, and I was just in hog heaven. I was like, fuck yeah, we're getting a Spawn movie. And then years later, I was like, fuck, we got a Spawn movie, and it wasn't that great. But it was fun to look at again from a 36-year-old standpoint, understanding what goes into film, understanding what goes into effect shots, visual effects, and special effects. They did well with what they had to work with, which was a budget of between $40 and $45 million.
I'm just thankful that they actually got Spawn himself right. Like in an era where a lot of those comic book costumes didn't look like the characters. They got him.
I mean, you really can't fuck that up. Like the fact that, I don't know if any of you out there know this. I don't even know if you know this, but McFarlane sold the rights, the film rights, for $1.
Wow.
In exchange for full creative control. Because sometimes creative control is much more important than the fucking money you can make off of it. Because it's not like he didn't know those rights. Like, the rights reverted back to him.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make a film about the property that you own, it reverts to the creator. So that's what happened. And I mean, New Line, you know, they did what they could, but dude, McFarlane gave more of a shit about creative control over what was getting put in the movie, looks-wise, story-wise, all that shit. Not terrible, but not great. Fun to go back and watch. It's a good nostalgia trip, but I don't really have much else to say about it. I mean, I think a lot of you have seen this movie, and if you haven't, it's on Netflix for absolutely fucking free, so just go watch it. There's some scenes that I will point out just before we take a break, because
Okay.
I did remember writing some of these down as notes.
Okay. Let me hear
That
it.
scene where fucking I'm gonna call him Clown because, you know, he's not Violator until he transforms into it. But the
Correct,
scene where the
yeah.
fucking clown is sitting there watching this shit unfold on TV, just dipping worms in a fucking mayonnaise jar. Gross, slobby son of a bitch. Like,
Dude.
it was so great.
In college, I shit you not, there was a dude in one of my courses. Every day, my man's showed up with a dozen donuts, and he dipped them in some fucking queso cheese dip. He was just listening to the professor while eating cheese donuts.
Oh. You've been violated, girly man. That was another funny scene, too. That's all I can picture him, like, just looking at motherfuckers dipping that shit into cheese and everybody looking at him feeling violated. You've been violated, girly man. Just fucking eating it. Ugh. During the Violator fight, when he throws Spawn into that gating and he gets stabbed in the back, the fact that they literally pull him down and he leans over just long enough for them to add the visual effect shot of the 4 wounds sealing up, and then he sits back against the gate. Like, fucking why?
They had a couple extra dollars for their budget.
Yeah. The fact that The clown tells Wanda that she tastes like chicken after licking her in the face. Because that was like the thing to say. Everything tasted like chicken. It's like, it tastes like chicken. Like all the goofy one-liners that he gave, just top notch, good shit for PG-13.
Yeah.
And the final note that I have, because I know this is going to make you laugh because you already know, like, what the fuck. Every time I watched the Spawn and the Violator fight each other, it reminded me of trying to give my cat a bath.
I've seen you try and give your cat a bath.
Every fucking time. He's just like, smack. And I'm like, you got to take a bath, dude.
Mine just jumps in the bathtub with me. He doesn't care.
Yeah, you're lucky. That's fantastic. I wish mine did it, but he's just like, no, fuck you. And he grows like 50 sizes too big, and he slaps me around and throws me around the house. And
you get slammed against a wall making a cross silhouette.
I T-pose into the wall. But yeah, I mean, that's Spawn in a nutshell. Again, not going front to back on this movie, just a bunch of bullshit that happens. And again, it's an hour and a half watch. Just go watch the fucking thing, or an hour and 40 minutes or some shit. Just go watch it.
It's like an hour 45, I think.
Yeah, just go watch it. It's on Netflix. And we'll take a break and come back and talk about Darkman. Devin, the summer sun is just around the corner, and you know what that means.
Musty ball sack?
Yeah, dude. The water gets warmer, the skin gets darker, and the hair gets pubier?
It really does. Can we fix that?
Yes, we can, because our friends at Manscaped are here to make that summer bod pop with their signature Lawnmower 4.0.
A 4?
That's right, dude. Join the 4 million men worldwide that trust Manscaped and get ready for Hot Boys Summer by going to manscaped.com and getting 20% off plus free shipping with our code SUPER. Guys, let's be real. Nobody likes the hairy guy at the beach rave, and I feel personally attacked by this. So it's time to bundle up with the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, the Performance Boxer briefs, and their Shed travel bag to hold your goodies.
That's 6 items, dude.
I'm telling you. First off, the Performance Package 4.0 includes the Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer was designed with summer intentions in mind. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It also has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock, and it gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on or off when you need a more precise shave. Did you know it's waterproof?
I do now.
That's right, it's both pool and beach party approved. Manscaped even has you covered with their signature crop mop ball wipes for any, dare I say, spontaneous decisions?
Well, now that you mention it.
Want to take it up a notch, man?
Yeah.
Well, Manscaped's Shears 2.0 is an all-encompassing nail kit to tackle those gross sandal nails you might acquire. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations. Before you head outside, use the Crop Preserver ball deodorant to keep you on your game in the heat. For any on-the-go ball sweats, freshen up with Manscaped's Crop Reviver and hop back into the mix with confidence. Manscaped is even throwing 2 free gifts into the Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Premium Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. Get 20% off plus free shipping with our code SUPER at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with our code SUPER at manscaped.com. It's time to trim off those spring flowers this summer and give your beach balls a shine with Manscaped.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
And I'm John.
And we host the Beard Owl Podcast, the podcast where we talk about 2 of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al.
And a bunch of other stuff.
That's right. Do you like nostalgia? Do you like sibling banter? Do you like beer? Do you like Weird Al? Are you human?
If you answered yes to any of those questions, give us a listen. Become one of our loyal commenters.
Hey everybody, just to let you know, Super Media Bros is also brought to you in part by Newsly. Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice. For the first time ever in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable, all in one place. You can browse articles from topics that you choose and just start playing them. You can follow any topic that you like, such as sports, technology, business, science, or even Hollywood celebrity stories. It'll find the latest articles and read them to you aloud, which is really awesome considering most of us are on the go now more than ever. You can also explore trending podcasts from over 80 countries around the world. Our podcast, Super Media Bros, is on there too. You can download and use Newsly for free from newsly.me, your iOS or Android. Or you can use the link in the description below and use our code SMBcast and get a 1-month free premium subscription. That's a 1-month free premium subscription with the promo code SMBcast. With everything on the go, take Newsly with you. So we're back and we're going to talk about Darkman. Now, the reason these two movies got paired with each other is, I think, there's a lot of parallels. Like, you got two guys that get horribly disfigured and fucked up and burnt. I mean, one literally goes to hell, but the other one lives a life of hell because he didn't really die. His soul is just corrupted now. Directed by Sam Raimi, first of all.
The fact that I didn't even know that, and yet I knew it within 10 minutes.
Yeah, Sam has some real signature work as far as camera angles, lighting, setting up VFX shots for post. He wrote the screenplay and created this character, and Rob Tappert and his brother Ivan all worked together on this. So you've essentially got most of the Evil Dead team working on an original story that pays homage to the Universal monsters, the character of Clayface from the DC universe, and a couple of other characters from comics back then, who he kind of just reminds me of if the Mummy and the Invisible Man were kind of a thing. And the reason they did this is because they were not able to secure the rights to the Shadow or Batman. So Raimi was like, fuck it, I'm going to make my own and I'm going to ink a deal with Universal. And this was before Army of Darkness, so I have a feeling that Universal was just like, if you can make this a success, we'll fund Army of Darkness so you can complete your Evil Dead trilogy, which, bravo, it fucking happened, apparently. And I mean, it was a $14 million budget, and this movie made almost $50 million off of it. So in the 90s, at that time, that was successful.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But we got Liam Neeson in the starring role as Peyton Westlake. It was so, like you even pointed this out, it is so weird to see young Liam Neeson.
It made me uncomfortable for the first couple of minutes.
It kind of made me uncomfortable the whole time. I'm not going to lie, dude.
Because he just had such a smooth face, and I'm not used to it.
You're used to seeing old man, wrinkled, fucking Liam Neeson.
Who looks like he could beat the shit out of you even when he's 80.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
And now he's like a baby-faced scientist, and I'm just like, I don't know if I like this.
Dude, he's got more than a fucking particular set of skills in this movie.
He was doing great work. I'm just saying, like, it threw me off.
No, it's just funny because he's a scientist and he's developing this kind of like synthetic skin that will help burn victims, which it's crazy how that just foreshadows how his character is going to end up. But he cannot get it to last longer than 99 minutes. And they eventually him and his lab partner figure out it's because of the sun. Just breaking it down. Now, he's got a girlfriend who's an attorney. This is another one that just kind of gets right to the chase real quickly. They just set it all the way up right in like the first 15 minutes. His girlfriend, being an attorney, is discovering that this, she discovers this memorandum, which is this document that her boss is bribing members of the zoning commission with to try to get like a heads up on the development in the city, which is highly illegal. So she figures this out and she tells Peyton about it, which you couldn't have had like two more opposite careers, like a fucking scientist and a lawyer. And it makes me laugh that when she leaves, because they were too busy like trying to figure out when they were going to fuck next. So she just leaves the paperwork behind by mistake in his pile of papers. You already know where this is going. So the character of Robert Durant, who is the city's crime boss, is also in on the business, and he wants this document. Well, they somehow tail it to Peyton's lab, and he has no clue what's going on. Bro, they fuck him up so bad.
Dude, it was so brutal. It was like gratuitous without even being graphic.
Yeah, and you just feel sorry for the guy.
Yeah.
Because it's so weird. It's like, okay, it kind of creeps me out to see young Liam Neeson, but you feel sorry for young Liam Neeson just getting bounced around this laboratory, his face busted through glass, and
He ain't deserve all that.
no, and they fucked his lab up too, and they're just sitting there like, where's the paper? And he's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know what the paper is. And they fucking take his lab assistant and wrap saran wrap around him and start suffocating him. And Ted Raimi, who is always making cameos in any of Sam's films and just in movies in general, he's very active in the indie film community. It's hilarious watching him look like a total fucking dorkwad. And he's playing this like tough hitman kind of character where Peyton just looks up and he's like, he's just my assistant. Let him breathe. And Durant just looks over. He's like, you heard the man. Let him breathe. And he fucking shoots him in the head. And then they just take Peyton and they fucking try to go dunk him face first into this vat of acid. So he tries to block it by holding on to these bars on the side that are just wrapped in electrical wire. And it just torches his fucking hands to the bone. And it's kind of a cool effect shot where you can see like the claymation going in reverse where they
They leave it to Sam Raimi, dude. He's always going to do some cool stuff like that.
Yeah, and it looks really grotesque. Well, they throw him on the ground, his hands are on fire and shit, and then they dunk his face in there. And I just want to know how Ted Raimi's hands didn't get all fucked up from the acid, because I'm pretty sure his hands went in there with him.
They did. It's moments like that I'm always fascinated by in movies, because I'm like, you as a performer felt your hand get wet. You didn't look at the cameraman and be like, let's do a retake and let me dry my hand off. Like, it's not an idea that you have. Like,
yeah, I don't know. It was not good.
Is it time restraints? I mean,
who really knows? It's probably just some shit which I'm surprised at went completely unnoticed. I think maybe the idea is that you're too worried about his character getting just fucked up beyond all recognition to even worry about somebody else's hand getting caught in there. You're just like, no, how is he going to live through this?
I guess, but if both of us noticed it,
yeah.
I don't know. That just me personally.
Well, there's a kind of a subplot with Durant, how he's smoking cigars all the time. So he's got a cigar cutter. Well, he likes to take fingers that way too. Like, I forgot to mention in the very beginning when he gets introduced, he's actually taking the fingers of this other guy at a warehouse somewhere. And there's a dude that has a fucking fake leg that is a gun.
I fucking laughed so hard.
He fucking shoots this one guy, and to the sound he makes when he dies, he's like, it's the worst sound ever. I even wrote it down in the notes.
Dude, watching people like poorly die in old movies never gets old.
It gives me life. It's so dumb. It really is the best shit, though.
It is.
Speaking of fucking dying poorly, bruh, that goddamn laboratory just got obliterated.
It did.
So they leave him to die. Durant turns on this flammable gas and he puts his lighter down on one of those, like, I don't even know what the fuck those are called, like those pendulum, like chicken things where it dips into the glass water looking like it's taking a sip or whatever.
Yeah, I always just called it the water dipper. So
that thing clicks and blows the damn laboratory up right as his girlfriend, Julie, gets home. And she watches it blow the fuck up. And there's a shot in both Spawn and Darkman where a truck blows up in Spawn and the clown is flying face first up towards the camera from an aerial shot. And he's just like, see you in hell. And he's just like, it looks like he just lifted off from a giant fart. Whereas in this one, it blows up and God damn it. Westlake is on fire, flying towards the camera, and you just hear and sploosh into the fucking water. That poor bastard just got fucked over so bad, and I'm just dying laughing at his in the fucking air. But the transition shot from Julie being in shock to the graveyard and not really moving. I thought that was a kind of a cool shot. And
it was.
You'd pointed out it was really comic book-esque.
It really was. I can see that being like Frank Miller or Alan Moore, like something along those lines. Shit, even Neil Gaiman I can picture doing that.
Right. So to explain how Darkman has his, quote, powers, they essentially John Doe him because he's so fucked up in the face. And they wind up cutting the nerves on his spine tract. That way he can't feel any physical pain, but he doesn't have any sensation anymore. And this doctor tries to explain that he's going to have this enhanced strength because his adrenaline is going to be overloaded and it keeps the injuries from incapacitating him. So he's going to be like mentally insane and all this bullshit. So he does what anybody would do. He goes and finds this musty, dusty, crusty, old-ass abandoned fucking building and just makes his lab all over again. And I'm assuming, I can only assume that he is funding this with money that he's stealing from all the bad guys that he's going around and fucking killing.
Probably, yeah.
Because he's using that whole skin synthesizing machine to reconstruct his own face, but he's also slowly but surely taking out Durant's men by reconstructing their faces from photographs that he's taking of them. But he only has like an hour and a half, maybe 100, like 99 to 100 minutes to wear this shit before it melts off his face. And he goes around and he fucks this entire group of people over, like from posing as one of them to take a cash drop, and then they go and kill this guy because they were like, well, he took the cash drop and didn't give us the supplies. So they go fucking wreck his ass. Oh, and old fucking Ted Raimi gets his comeuppance whenever he's getting fucking waterboarded in the sewer.
Yeah.
Pops his head up through the fucking manhole like a Ninja Turtle.
And he's just watching all of the cars come towards him, and they all miss him except for the fucking 18-wheeler.
Yeah, because how that's gonna miss him? No, you can't fucking miss that. But his fucking face, whenever it just comes at him, he just, oh! He's such a dork. I love him so much, dude. I love Ted Raimi so fucking much. He makes the best faces, I swear to God.
He really does. He looked like a fucking human puppet.
Could you imagine Darkman having his hand shoved up his ass and he's like,
he
he's
would
like
too.
Fucking talking with him.
Man doesn't give a shit.
He really does. He shouldn't give a shit. The motherfucker ain't got no lips.
Come on.
Dude, it's so funny to hear him talk like normal, knowing that like Liam Neeson went back in and did ADR for this shit. Like, he didn't even think to like just hold his own lips back and deliver like dialogue like, Julia, I still love you. But he's, Julie, I still love you. And like when he's all fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
And then like there's a scene where you finally see him without all the makeup on. There's literally no lips. It's just fucking teeth. And now I understand where they got the inspiration for the bad Ash in Army of Darkness, or how he's got no fucking lips. And he just... The fact that this man was building his laboratory and doesn't realize his hand catches fire at one point. He's just like, they took my hands. And I'm like, bro, you've been using your hands. You've been fucking using pens and fucking...
How you didn't notice?
Yeah, no shit. It's like, they took my hands. Bro, you've been using them. The scene where they throw Paulie, when Durant, like the guy that was supposed to make the fucking cash drop, and they throw him out the fucking window and he just says, have a nice flight.
Yeah.
More corny lines that I am all about. Dad jokes are the fucking shit, but we all know he fell for, bro, how fucking high up did they toss his ass? They had to have tossed him from like the 25th floor of this fucking building or something.
Like that, yeah.
Can't tell me that car and his body just remained intact. There's no way in hell that would like, he would have lost a couple of limbs or something.
You would think. This is what's weird. It was labeled as rated R.
It's the language.
It didn't even feel like it was that egregious there.
Yeah, I know. But you got to think that's like 1990. They were willing to slap R ratings on damn near anything. I mean, fuck, Army of Darkness got an R rating and it really didn't need one. I think the only reason it got one for real was that pit bitch sequence where that blood fountain just shoots up out of that thing.
I guess it's just weird that it felt like, even for the time, it feels like a harder PG-13.
Yeah, I mean, they really probably could have done it PG-13. I wonder if it's because the burn stuff looked too real.
Maybe.
Like, maybe that would have traumatized younger kids seeing it or whatever. I don't fucking know. But I mean, shit, we got I feel like we got worse than that. That was PG-13 around those times.
I would have thought, but
So I've got a thought about Darkman.
okay.
How he creates his faces, the facial reconstruction. What if he wants a bigger dick? Does he just reconstruct a penis out of, like, does he go around and take pictures of dicks and he's like, you know what? I want this.
I mean, shit, I would. I'd fucking do it. Are you kidding me? To go from having this 2-inch peen to 8-inch schlong? Yeah, I'd love that.
From Darkman to Dongman. Overnight, baby.
Just dicking around.
But what would be really funny, though, because he does that. Oh, my God. Imagine his dating life. Like, he actually, like, does his face and everything.
Oh, my God.
He's got to score a date. Like, he's meeting new people, right? He's got to score literally within the 99-minute time frame. He's got to find a chick, make her like him, and fuck her in 99 minutes before it dissolves.
That's even worse than what I used to do. In college, this is so bad. I used to lie to chicks about my birthday because I knew that they were into astrology.
God damn it.
Like, I used to study, like, okay, cancers are compatible with this month and all this other stuff. So I would just be like, oh, you're a Scorpio? That's crazy. I'm blah, 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 And they'd be like, oh my God, we are perfect. And I'm like, yeah, bitch.
Devin's like, to the laboratory.
I know. It worked too.
God damn it. So he finds Julie and, he reconstructs his face and he finds her at the graveyard. And the way they frame this shot is it looks like she sees him in a dream sequence, or maybe she's just imagining, because she has that fond, like, lovelorn look, like, and then when he approaches her and starts talking, she's like, wait, fuck, it's real. He's just like, Julie, it's me. And she's like, no, you're dead. Julie, it's me. I was in a coma. So it's just weird how they do this date at the carnival. And I want to talk about the fucking elephant in the room. The stuffed elephant. This was the most Raimi shit ever.
It really was.
When he gets pissed off, like, he throws that goddamn baseball and he knocks the little jugs over and he's like, I would like the pink elephant for my girlfriend. And the guy's like, oh, you weren't behind the line. He's just like, yes, I was. The pink elephant, if you will. And then the fucking carney's just like, and I swear to God, he's talking about as calmly as this to the dude. He's, maybe you should just get lost, freak. And he fucking pokes him. And dude, the fucking visuals where he just looks off and his face turns red. And you zoom into his eyes and all this hellscape and fucking lightning and shit happens. And he breaks the shit out of this dude's fingers. Like, I'm talking like bends that shit like a rubber chicken.
He pulled that shit backwards, man.
And the camera shot from him screaming, he's like, oh, he screams, and then Julie fucking screams. And he just fucking yeets the guy right through the fucking goddamn wood in the back. And he grabs the fucking elephant.
I know, that's the thing. Instead of just going, you know what? We're going to buy an elephant for you. Nah. He's just going to take it from there, give it to her. She's going to freak out. And then he's going to just take it with him.
Dude, I laughed. Like, he woke up and chose violence that day straight up. Because he just looks at her. He's like, take the elephant. And she's like, no, I don't want to take the elephant. I really don't want to take the fucking elephant. Just the way he delivers that line. Dude. And he, like you said, he hauls ass. And the way she chases after him. Me and you, dude, y'all, Devin and I were sitting there watching this shit happen. And I just looked and I was like, damn, she must have good cardio, dude. She ran from the fucking, like, it looked like they were near, like, the bay. She ran, like, Midtown after his ass, bro. Like, not even winded or nothing. I'm like,
no,
man.
she could go another couple of miles.
I see why he's wanting to get with her. God damn.
Girl lasts forever.
That's what I'm talking about. But this is, like, the first time you see his face or whatever in that fucking laboratory, and this son of a bitch looks like Fire Marshal Bill. He fucking does.
Yeah.
Julie, let me tell you something.
It looked cool, though.
Yes, I know it's not like we're shitting on it, but no, like, literally all of the makeup effects in this movie are really fucking good. The burn prosthetics look amazing. And there's a final moment where we get to the conclusion of this story where they're having the big helicopter fight. Durant and Darkman are finally facing off, and he's like chasing into this rooftop. He's like, I gotta go after him. And he jumps on this fucking long ass hook thing that's on this helicopter. Bro, they're just swinging this son of a bitch around like all into buildings and shit. And that one where he crashes into a board meeting and he's just like, sorry. And he yoink, fucking just yeets out of the room.
No. It was at this point where I was just like, oh my God, this is all in the same movie.
Yeah, this is all happening. It's all happening. So he finally gets flown low enough to sit on like an 18-wheeler, which the shots of his feet going like real fast. It's like, what in the Mario Brothers fucking shit is this? Like, what's happening?
Sam Raimi having fun.
And that's the best. It's not even like a what the fuck in a bad way. It's just, you don't expect anything less than this from Sam. He fucking ties this hook off to this 18-wheeler that's going into a tunnel, and it crashes that helicopter into the side concrete barrier overhead. And I mean, that thing just caves in and blows the fuck up.
But we still had a survivor.
Yeah. So we get to the construction site where Strack, the guy that's working on the city design, has all these buildings in place with all this construction going on. And Peyton has disguised himself as Durant. And he shows up, but they call him on his bluff. And then it's probably one of the most at least for me, one of the most anxiety-inducing scenes that I get to watch on when we do these fucking things, because I'm afraid of heights, deathly. Mm-hmm. And they got Julie up there, like she's cuffed or whatever the fuck, and they're walking these beams, not even like with any kind of tie off, and all this high wind is just catching their asses, because you know it is. How are they not falling off these beams? I have no idea, but they're way the fuck in the air.
Yeah, and they're playing fucking hopscotch with the fucking beams and everything.
Yeah, and they're all picking their best moments to try out their fucking ninja kicks in this fucking area. Why?
Y'all got me fucked up.
Dude, the scene, oh my God, when they toss her and the bounding on her hands catches that rebar and she's just hanging there. Oh, dude, I was like, my toes and shit were curling up and I was like gripping the fucking arm of the sofa like, oh God, don't fall, you know? And I'd seen this movie several times, but I'm still sitting there like just, ugh. And even them jumping from beam to beam, not knowing where there is some platforming for them to land on. One of the villains gets straight up just tossed off of this motherfucker. No questions asked. It's finally down to Strack and Peyton, and he winds up dropping him off of this motherfucker. And then he just decides he can't be with Julie anymore because the monster part of him has taken over too much. And he puts his final mask on and just disappears into the crowd. And we get a really great cameo at the end of this where, you know, he says these lines where he's like, I am everyone and no one, everywhere, nowhere. Call me Darkman. And it's Bruce Campbell.
That made me smile.
I've waited literally to tell you this piece of information. Just because I want your legitimate reaction, as you know, I want everybody out there listening to have a genuine reaction to this. Because when I found this out, I was so pissed. Bruce Campbell was the original pick for the lead role of this film.
What?
Bruce Campbell was the original choice by Sam to be the lead role in this movie.
And why not?
The studio thought that he could not carry a lead role in a movie like this. Yeah. Bruce would have knocked it out of the park, dude.
Liam Neeson is great.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. But I'm trying to work on myself. I'm trying to work on my temper and my, particularly with the outbursts that we had earlier. I'm good. Fucking idiots.
It's true. Does that kind of deflate opinion on this film for you?
No, because the film is what it is. It makes me deflate my opinion on anybody wearing a suit in executive positions at a studio. I think they're all fucking morons, but, you know.
Yeah, I think the same because he was in Maniac Cop. He was one of the leads in that movie.
Evil Dead even, like,
Yeah.
he literally fucking carried Evil Dead 2. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, I don't understand. Unless that was their way of being like, no, we would rather a more higher profile actor, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, then say that. Don't say that you think the man can't carry a lead. He fucking sure can. He's proven it time and time again.
Not only that, but if the whole point of Darkman was to be like, well, if this works, then we'll let you do this, wouldn't you almost want to put odds against Sam Raimi? So in theory, if you didn't believe in Bruce Campbell, you would say, well, you know what? Bruce is a fine choice. Just be a little shit about it. So I don't even understand. I don't know. I just think the logic is completely ridiculous in every angle.
This movie wound up having 2 direct-to-video sequels that didn't even star Liam Neeson as Darkman. The villain Durant had come back for the sequel, literally titled The Return of Durant. And you're going to laugh. Guess who actually played Darkman in both of these movies? Do you remember the guy that played the literal mummy in the Mummy franchise?
Yeah.
That guy?
That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, I know. I was sitting there like, who the fuck played him? And I looked at that and I said, I'll be goddamned.
That's pretty sick.
So who wins on this one?
Oh, Darkman.
Yeah, I mean, Darkman had probably the better looking of the 2 films, which is crazy to think about considering this movie was made 7 years before Spawn.
Spawn, if we were to look at it from the actual original comic books and everything, I would go with Spawn, the character. But as the films go, no, I think Darkman is just a more fun, experimental movie.
Right. It was probably better made.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not to say that Spawn 100% sucks.
No.
It's definitely a flawed film, but I think if you're, again, we go back to it, if you're looking for that nostalgia trip, it's absolutely worth throwing on. You don't have to pay attention. You just throw it on and enjoy it. But yeah, I agree. I think Darkman absolutely takes the cake this week, dude.
All right. Fuck yeah. An agreement.
An agreement has been reached. And now if you all out there would agree to visit supermediabrospodcast.com for past, present, and future episodes, it would be fantastic.
Claymore.
Or you'll get burned in a fucking acid bath. Visit oddpodsmedia.com for all the other shows on the OddPods Media Network. Or you will be dipped in a vat of acid. Or you could be dipped in a jar of mayonnaise like those fucking worms that Clown was eating.
Dude,
Would you rather be dipped in a jar of mayo or acid? I know that's a really tough question, but
I know a guy that actually used to work at a pizza joint. Asked me if during every little restaurant meeting with all of the coworkers, just to fucking freak out the main owner, he would just pour ranch on his palm and start licking it.
Jesus fucking Christ. Fucking trashy.
It's the kind of shit I grew up around.
Buy a t-shirt on our merchandise website or be subjected to being dipped in ranch. We're going to see what everybody's going to get dipped in if they don't fucking go do what we tell them to do. Visit us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or be slathered in spicy ketchup from Whataburger on those freshly burned wounds.
Every time I go to Whataburger, I literally walk up to their condiments and stuff a bunch of honey and ketchup in my pocket and then leave.
Not even buying anything, just going in and grabbing it.
That's exactly what happens.
Oh, God.
Sometimes I'll get a fountain water.
Because it's free.
Yeah. So I'm a customer. I deserve some condiments.
Fucking shit. Speaking of condiments, like fucking John Leguizamo compared wearing that clown suit to like wearing a body condom. Because he said it was so fucking hot, there was no ventilation, and it was stuck to him and shit. I was just like, ugh.
I can believe it.
And he had to squat down the whole time in that fucking thing.
Poor bastard.
I know. Come visit us on YouTube and subscribe while you're there. Or be slathered in condom lubricant.
I know his ass was smelling raw in that shit.
Oh, yeah. Who smells worse, John Leguizamo in the clown suit in Spawn, or Ted Raimi in the cellar bitch suit in Evil Dead 2?
Oh, God. Oh, I don't even want to know.
At least the butt was torn on the fucking cellar bitch suit, so he had some kind of air happening, but I don't even want to know what was coming out of that motherfucker.
Ugh.
Leave us a rating and review on GoodPods, Podchaser, Spotify, or Apple Podcast, or be slathered in soup sweat from the costumes.
You know, they had some sack soup marinating in their drawers.
Oof.
Some booty sauce to go with
Some
it.
booty cheese. I almost said some fucking like Dunkin' Donuts, but the Dunkachino. Fucking.
Ugh. You be nice to Dunkin', okay? They make good coffee.
I like Dunkin'. Yeah, I think that's it for us, everybody. We're out of things to dip you in and slather you in. We're out of condiments and we're out of fucks to give.
For now.
And yeah, until next week rolls back. Thanks for hanging out with us and listening to us ramble on about some burn up motherfuckers in some movies. This has been episode 222, Cult Cinema Showdown 96, Spawn vs. Darkman. Until next time, I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
Shades on.
We're off.